Hello and welcome to my jQuery tutorial. Today we're going to be covering selectors and event handlers. To make our experience a little bit quicker and smoother, I've already created an HTML structure here. So I've got an H1 header, 2 buttons, I've got 2 paragraphs here. I've got a table, another paragraph, and a div element. So please don't confuse this div as if it were a paragraph. It's worth mentioning that every time I save, you'll see this drop down here. What that is it's an add-on for Firefox that automatically reloads the page. So essentially, every time I save, I don't need to go over here and refresh. Makes it a little bit quicker. So to get things started, let's create a new tab here and type in jQuery library. Alright, so we're going to go get the library. It's going to be a script. So I went to w3schools.com, and here's the script that we're going to need. Let's go ahead and copy this. We can close out the page. And I'm going to paste this within the head here. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to put this script at the bottom because it won't work. Normally you'd put scripts at the bottom, however jQuery requires us to be at the top. Alright, so getting started now, we have a $sign document ready function. Now this $sign is basically an alias, or it is an alias. It just means jQuery. So in all reality, I could type in jQuery here. However, it's much easier just to use an alias, depending on how much you're going to be programming. Alright, so let's start with an event handler. Let's go ahead and use $sign for jQuery function. I'm going to leave this blank for a moment here. Now we're going to create a click function. So let's type in function. Let's do our opening and closing braces. Create a little room for us to type. Alright, and we're going to have a $sign here, and then we're going to select another thing here, CSS. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to click something, probably a button, and then we're going to have something selected that we're going to go ahead and change the background color. And let's just change it to lime. Okay, so here's our selector. So what we're going to select, let's work with a button here. So you can see that the ID for button 1, well, the ID is button 1. So let's go down here. And now we're going to use a $sign anytime we're selecting an ID. And anytime we're selecting an element, such as a paragraph, we're not going to use a $sign. However, both of them are going to be in quotes. Okay. So let's go ahead and save it. And now anytime we click button 1, all of the paragraphs, any element with that's a paragraph will be changed to the background color of lime. And there you have it. So to take this a little bit further, what if we just want to select the first one, the first paragraph? Not all of them, just the first one. Click button 1, and there you go. Just the first paragraph is selected. We could also select last if we wanted. And there's the last one. But what if we wanted to select this one here in the middle? That middle paragraph. Well, we could do nth. Nth can be anyone we want. So let's select 1. And the reason that I'm selecting 1 here is because, like any other programming language, everything starts with a 0. So this is a 0 paragraph, first and second. Let's go ahead and save this, and we'll try it out. And there we go. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on to maybe a different element, like a table. Let's turn the background color of a table to lime green. And there you have it. And the reason I wanted to show you the entire table background color green is because I wanted to show you that if you select the child element, tr, which is the table's row, and turn this green, that it's going to look a little bit different. Let's go ahead and save. And here's the proof. We have that white line in between, so we're not selecting the entire table, we're just selecting the table's rows. And what's more than that, I see that here we have some strong type text. So let's select this child and turn that green. And there you go. Alrighty. So what if we wanted to select the table's rows, but we also only wanted the even rows? Well, JavaScript, JQuery makes that easy too. So let's select even, the even row. Let's click button 1, and there you go. Just the even rows are selected. And once again, this is row 0, which is technically an even number, 1, and then 2. Perfect. We can do the same thing with odd. Perfect. Exactly what we expected. Okay. So we've gone ahead and we've selected IDs, which we have the pound sign in front of. And we've selected maybe a paragraph element, which would be P, maybe table. Okay. But what if we wanted to select a class? Well, I put one up here in a div. Class equals my class. So to do this, we're going to put dot my class. Let's hit save and see how that works. Click button 1, and there we go. There we have it. Our class is selected. Okay. Now, lastly, this. Alright. Now, this is whatever invoked it. So, button 1 is this, and this is button 1. So, when we click button 1, this is going to turn the background color lime. Let's save it and let me show you. There it is. So the background color of the button is now green. So the onClick function here, we can actually select more than just a button. We can select a paragraph as well if we want. So let's save it and let's test this out. So button 1, now paragraph, well, all the paragraphs. So there we go, there we have it. So this is a button and this is a paragraph. So we were able to select both of them and change the colors. Great. So event handlers are pretty fun, pretty useful. And so therefore, let's create another one. $. Let's work with paragraphs since they're so cool. So we are selecting the paragraph element, and we're going to do mouse over. So when we mouse over these, let's create our function here. Let's change their color when we mouse over them. Let's see, this CSS, background color, and let's change it to a different color, say blue. So anytime we mouse over a paragraph, we're going to change the color to blue. You know what? We forgot to mention that this is going to be a JQuery function. So let's resave it. There we go. Now it's working. We can still go ahead and click our button 1. We can actually go ahead and change this back. Let's add some more functionality to this. So now we can hover over them, click our button, and we can click these guys. All right? Anytime you hover back over them, though, they're going to turn the same color, blue. Well, that kind of stuff is fun. So let's go ahead and add some more functionality, just so I don't get it wrong this time. Yep, let's go ahead and copy and paste because that's the best way to do anything. All right, so let's do another click. Hit caps lock at some point. Click function. And we're going to use the ID of button 1 and a little button 2. Since we have a second button, let's use it. Okay, so button 2, and we're going to play around with the paragraphs. Let's not change any colors. How about instead we add some effects in there? Let's toggle it. And at default, I think this attribute here is actually 400, but I like to put it in there just for the looks. Makes me happy. So we're going to go ahead and toggle the paragraphs here when I click button 2. Toggling them makes them disappear, and then when you press button 2 again, they're going to come back. And button 1 is still going to turn green, everything else still works. Awesome. Now, if we want to get all intricate and cool, we can go ahead and delay this. Let's delay it by 1000. And don't forget the dot. Let's go ahead and save it. Now when we click, it's going to delay for a little bit, and then it's going to toggle the paragraphs. And there they go. Let's toggle it, and alright, they came back. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I just want to show you that this does work. I'm going to go ahead and type jQuery here, just to show you that the alias is in fact jQuery. Let's go ahead and save it. Button 2, and there they go. So yeah, sure, you could type jQuery if you want a lot of typing in your program, but the $ symbol seems to work a little bit better, a little bit quicker. Hey, and it turns hot pink, so why not? Okay, and just for some troubleshooting purposes, I did want to show you that if you take this script, let's cut it out of there. Let's go ahead and paste it here at the bottom. And let's go ahead and save. Just want to show you that this script does indeed have to be at the top for it to work. As you can see, our event handler for mouse over is not working. Our buttons aren't working. And that's not cool, so let's go ahead and just put this back up here. Perfect. Alright. Well, we've gone over event handlers, the click, we've gone over mouse over, we've gone over some effects such as delay and toggle. There's also other ones such as fade and etc., etc. And also we went over selectors. IDs need the £sign. Elements do not need the £sign, but they both need to be within quotations. And we also need to have quotations around classes, if we were to do dot, whatever your class may be, right? Okay, so, and lastly, this does not need quotations. Okay, so best site to go to, jQuery.com. They've got everything here, so please go around, look at the API documentation, take a look around, see what you can and cannot do, and learn some more jQuery. Awesome. Alrighty, well that concludes our tutorial.